Welcome to a live session where I will be talking to you guys about how you can thrive online as an introvert, not just online, but on social media. Now, if you are an introvert, if you identify yourself as an introvert, this session is for you. As I'll be talking to you about those feelings of overwhelm, especially you have that overwhelming feeling about, I don't want to be on social media. I don't know how to navigate it. There's just so much trends. There's so much strategies. There's just so much to bear in mind when I am putting myself out there. So if you feel intimidated by social media or just exhausted because yes, you have tried it, but you haven't really seen much leverage because quite possibly you are not using the right approaches that really work for you and your personality, you are in the right place, right? Because I'm going to talk about all of that in today's live session, where I am diving into exactly how introverts can thrive on social media without feeling drained or overwhelmed. Trust me, I don't like to feel overwhelmed. And I know as entrepreneurs, we tend to get overwhelmed, feel overwhelmed, end up being burnt out, and just step away from everything because it is just too much. And it is 10 times more for my introverted friends, right? So if you're new here, I am Carey-Lee and I go by Carey Digital. And on this channel, I am talking a lot about Canva, but outside of sharing how you can utilize Canva to build your online presence and to position yourself online, I also talk to my introverted entrepreneurs about how they can position themselves and build an online presence that they are confident about and feels authentic to them, right? So I'm based in Kingston, Jamaica, and I really just enjoy sharing my knowledge and connecting with you all. And in today's topic, like I said, I'm tackling a topic that hits home for so many of us and is very familiar to me because I also identify myself as an introvert and who ends up being an entrepreneur, right? And I know the feeling of being overwhelmed by being visible, not wanting to be visible, not wanting to be on camera, hiding behind the scenes, all the things. So don't worry because I am sharing with you strategies that actually work, strategies that work for me. Even though it didn't happen overnight, right? So you're seeing me here, I'm talking to you, and I'm live, right? And years ago, I could never imagine myself being live talking to you guys here, right? Because I always preferred being behind the scenes. That was just me. But the truth is, social media is a powerful tool. We know this. Social media is where you can build your awareness, you can build your online presence, you can connect with customers, clients, all over the world. And I'm going to be honest with you because part of my story is that I really gravitated to social media because I dreaded in-person networking. I don't like networking in person. And so social media became that safety net for me. However, I still was hiding behind the scenes. So I'm going to talk about all of that in this session. So in the chat, if this sounds like you or you're feeling stuck or unsure how to really get started on social media because you have a business, you're currently in a pivoting stage, or you're just starting out, maybe you're transitioning from a 9 to 5 to full-time entrepreneurship, or maybe you're just exploring, what entrepreneurship would look like or what you want to do, or maybe you just want to be better at building an online brand or personal brand, this session is for you. So just comment below, drop a yes if this is, a experience you can relate to, being overwhelmed by social media, or even just having that desire to build your online presence in 2025. No, before we dive right in, I just want to share with you what we spoke about yesterday. So I went live yesterday, and what I spoke about was how to master Canva in your business for 2025. Master Canva, use Canva like a pro. Because here's the thing, Canva is that tool a lot of us invest in. However, we're not, a lot of us are not leveraging the tools. So I introduced to you apps, tools, features that you should know that can help you to streamline your workflow in Canva. So I did that session, so you can check that out. The video is on my channel, Carey Digital, right? So you can check out that video. And no, I am also want to introduce to you an upcoming masterclass that I have coming up on February the 1st, which is a Saturday. So get ready to master Canva to run your business like a pro. Learn from me strategies to streamline your workflow, save time, elevate your brand using Canva. And in this session, the goal is for you to leave more confident about how to utilize Canva for your business. So that's streamlining your workflow, elevating your online presence using these tools and the workflow, building a visual identity that really attracts your ideal audience and builds trust at every touch point. So from social media, emails, all of that, and then efficiently create and schedule your content. If you watched my video yesterday, if you go back and watch that video, I've touched on a lot of these things. And so for a limited time, I am offering this masterclass of 47 US dollars before it goes back to its original price of 97 US dollars, right? And this offer ends on January 22nd, 2025. So that's tomorrow. And this isn't just another design tutorial, it's full of behind the scenes of exactly how to be efficient with using Canva to save time, stay consistent, and run your business like a pro. Listen, I am big on using Canva like a pro, right? And this session is for 3 hours. So for Saturday morning, I want you to clear your schedule and be a part of this session because I am going all in. It's a deep dive, it's an interactive masterclass tailored for entrepreneurs who are really ready to boost efficiency, consistency, and productivity in their business. And like I said, this offer ends on January 22nd, and which is tomorrow. And I will walk you through how to leverage Canva features and tools from everything from your social media to your emails to your website. I'm giving you the full deep dive. And so you'll learn how to just be more efficient with content creation, build a cohesive brand with Canva, and explore advanced Canva features. And what is included is just real-time Canva demonstration, access to the recorded session. Then you'll also have access to a training hub with additional resources, including a bonus resource on Canva, which is a Canva content creation toolkit designed to help you to hit the ground running and start applying what you have learned in this session. So this will be a power-packed session, and I cannot wait, right? I cannot wait to just dive into that masterclass, right? So you can join that masterclass. And like I said, this masterclass, you can go ahead and sign up at caredigital.co. The link will be in my description so you can learn much more. So here's what. We're going to dive right into this session because you're here really to learn about how can you really leverage social media for yourself as an introvert and learn about the strategies that work. So in this session, we'll touch on some challenges where you are now, what makes you feel like you're struggling or you're overwhelmed. And then I'll talk about the desires. What are the desires you have as an introvert? What are some things you want to learn? And then we're going to talk about what's at stake. What's at stake if you don't show up? What is at stake if you don't position yourself online? What is at stake for you, right? And I'm going to share with you strategies that work, strategies that I have applied personally, and strategies that you can then apply in your business as an introvert who want to thrive on social media. You don't want to just be online and, you're doing all of this work and you feel like you're not going anywhere or you're not making any traction. So I'm going to be talking about all of that. And what's my story? So you might be wondering, Carey-Lee, what's your story? Why you're so passionate about talking about introverts and talking about how to thrive on social media? So like I mentioned earlier, I am an introvert. I describe myself as an introvert. Back in the days, early in my 20s, I used to say I'm the behind the scenes kind of girl. Listen, I'll do all the work behind the scenes. But the truth is, I was really also stifling myself because I'd created this limiting belief of what I could do and how I could do it and how I should show up. it limited me significantly. And so over time, I was like, you know what? I have these really big, ambitious goals, right? I'm entrepreneurial. I have this entrepreneurial drive, even in the 9 to 5, even in the workplace. But I wasn't just putting myself out there. I just had these limiting beliefs and just held myself back. But then I was like, you know what? Social media could work for me. I'm doing all these exciting projects. I enjoy writing and sharing and, all these things. And even though I went online or went on social media, I used to start hiding back myself. Like, I would post a photo here and there and then go back and hide. And then, another minute I would just post very inconsistently because I didn't find my way or really know how to position myself online until in most recent years. And one of the reasons why I started this channel was because I challenged myself that I wanted to be more confident on camera. I want to share my knowledge, but rather than just writing a blog post or just showing like, random posts here and there, I wanted to be more confident on camera. And so I started this YouTube channel and it's like, you know what, I'm going to show up for myself. Right. And that came with a lot of shifting my mindset about being online, positioning myself online, and just, putting myself out there. And so what I'm saying here in this session is that I'm sharing with you strategies that work, things that I did, things that I had to learn along the way so that I could get better at positioning myself and grow online. Now, listen, and oftentimes we tend to associate growing online with huge numbers online, right? If you're not having tens of thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people following you, sometimes feel like you're not thriving or it's not really working for you, or if you're not getting a lot of likes and the views and the comments. But here's the thing, there's impact in even the small numbers. And what is so powerful about a lot of this is when you start positioning yourself online, then you will start to see the real impact behind what you do and how you show up. So I'm going to talk to you now about I'm going to touch on some things that probably feel very, very relatable to you, right? And one of them is that, let's dive in. All right. So the first one is, what's your current state, right? Where are you now? Do you fear visibility? Do you fear being online and everyone is just in your business, right? Because I know a lot of people have that feeling like, boy, when I'm on social media, everybody just in my business. I don't want anybody in my business, right? That's a wrong mindset to have. The first thing you have to think about is, why do you even want to be on social media? What's the purpose? What's the vision behind you being on social media? Like I said, when I started this YouTube channel, the first goal for me was to really get more confident on camera, and I've achieved that, right? I'm not all the way where I want to be, and so I have to constantly keep challenging myself. But the fear of visibility is real. It's real for so many people. And I know for some persons, there's anxiety about putting yourself out there and being judged by others. And so that's why I said, when you're starting to think about social media and putting yourself out there, you have to really work on shifting your mindset and knowing that you have to go back to the why of why you want to be on social media. So if anyone can relate to having that fear of visibility, drop it in the comments below and let me know. The other current state you might be in is that you're overwhelmed. You feel lost. You feel intimidated about all of these social media platforms. You have the threads and the Instagram, and you hear people talking about the algorithm not working for them. So you feel so overwhelmed, you don't even know where to start. And I'm going to touch on how you can eliminate that feeling of overwhelm by just applying some simple but effective strategies. Anyone can relate to being overwhelmed or feeling overwhelmed? Comment below and let me know as well. All right. So here's another thing. You probably feel inconsistent. Well, not feel inconsistent, but you are inconsistent. So maybe you have given a little, you give it a run. You try. You have been trying to be more consistent. However, you struggle with the feeling of perfectionism, right? So you have that challenge of not posting consistently. And over the latter part of last year, I've been really testing out different ways I can become more consistent. And I will just share with you some more ways in ways in which you can be consistent even as an introvert without the fear of the visibility or feeling overwhelmed or even just challenging your or being challenged by time management. All right. So that's probably where you are now. And your desire is, what are your desires? Your desires are for you to be effective. You want some effective strategies. You want to hear from me. Carey-Lee, what is really working? Trust me, I am introverted. I want to put myself out there. Maybe you're not even introverted, but you have this desire to position yourself online to not even only you, but your business, but you lack the strategies, right? You hear everybody talking about, boy, you need to tell more stories, you need a hook, you need to jump on the trend, you need to be on Instagram, you need to be on Threads, you need to be on LinkedIn. There's just so much happening. There's so much everyone is saying. And so I'll just share with you some strategies on how to identify what you should do and how you can do it to just eventually boost your confidence. And that's another desire I know a lot of introverted entrepreneurs want. They want to feel more confident about positioning themselves online as well as their business. You want to move from that place of lack and limitation and sleeping on yourself to really just positioning yourself in a way that you feel confident and sure about what you're doing. Because the truth is, it's not that you're not smart. It's not that you don't know what you're talking about. It's not that you don't have the knowledge. The truth is that you just lack the confidence. And so that is your desire. And another desire for you is just to grow. You don't only want to be on social media, sharing your knowledge, posting all the time and nothing, right? So we'll touch on that in a few. All right. So I'm going to check my comments and see, do you have any comments on what you desire? I'd love to hear, what are your desires and why do you personally want to thrive on social media, right? So I just touch on the challenge and the struggle, which is one, the fear of being judged and putting yourself on out there. Like I said, I could relate to the fear of being online, the fear of being on camera. And I know oftentimes when I talk about this, some persons are like, really, Carey, you fear being online, being on camera? I've been there. I have been there. And that's why, as I said earlier, that's one of the reasons why I decided to create a YouTube channel, right? So you have to know, like, really, like I said earlier, go back to the why. What is the one goal that you want to achieve when you position yourself online and start putting in that effort to create your social media content? What is that one goal that you have in mind? Regardless of what persons would say, regardless of being judged, what is that one goal you have? And I want you to write that down. What is the goal you have when you're deciding to be more consistent with social media? Is it that you want to position yourself for more opportunities? Is it that you want to, I don't know, gain more traction? You want more persons to know that what you know, right? So for instance, for me, when I decided to create my YouTube channel, I wanted more persons to know that I knew about Canva and I'm using Canva and I can help them with Canva. That was literally it. And there were other things as well, as I said, like, being more confident, but there are other things like I wanted to help others. I had a genuine interest in helping others and sharing my experience about entrepreneurship and transitioning from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship and doing side hustling as a 9 to 5. Well, those were just my desires. And so regardless of what persons will probably think, I often just showed up based on that goal or those goals, right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the platforms and all the strategies and all the trends and too much going on, you're overstimulated, there is a solution. There is a solution for you. And chances are, because you're overwhelmed, you'll not do anything. You'll just say, you know what? I'll just keep scrolling. I'll just keep watching these videos and keep it pushing, right? But here is what I'm going to talk to you about. I'm telling you, there's a simple way. Focus on simplicity and focus on impact. What is the impact you want to make online? Because the truth is, there are so many persons who are currently online who are introverts and they are thriving. There are so many persons are introverts and they're thriving, but they're creating content in a way that feels comfortable for them, right? It may stretch them, yes, but they have also found a way to make the content feel comfortable for them. And so, like I said, we're focusing on simplicity and impact. Simply focus on impact. Simple and focus on impact, right? So the first strategy is choose 1 to 2 platforms where your audience is most active. Right. So when you're choosing a social media platform, you're not just going to jump and say, boy, I'm going on Instagram because everybody on Instagram. You're not going to jump and go on LinkedIn because everybody on LinkedIn. There are some platforms that are, yes, naturally it's good for you to be on those platforms. But before you jump and start creating this content and putting in all this effort, you have to know, where is my audience most active? You're a business owner, you want to question how I'm a visual girl and I just loved being on Instagram. So I would post some photos here and there, and that was it, right? That would be it. But what I realized, I was just, even though I was showing up, I was hiding in a way, right? Until I realized, okay, there's Instagram. I can either post on my feed, I can go in my stories, or I can post reels. So as an introvert, find out where your audience is. So if you're in a creative field or a field that requires a lot of visuals, Instagram is a great platform. If you want to share your knowledge, probably you're very good at writing, Threads would be a great platform. LinkedIn would be a great platform. So you want to be thinking about where your audience is most active, and then you start showing up there. So that's the first thing. Go and you creating content. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of you showing up every day creating content? I know some people always try to find the easy route of showing up online. So maybe you just post this one little reel with probably some quotes, but is that really impactful enough based on what you're doing in your business? Or is it more impactful for you to say, boy, I want to challenge myself and go live once every week? And yes, you might not show up the way you'd want to show up, but you start identifying what works, what doesn't work, and how you can tweak and improve it, right? So show up in a way on a platform in a way that you can provide quality. So what you're doing now is not like, hey, I need to show up 3 times of the week, or I need to be creating content 3 times of the week. No, you're saying, okay, I am going live once per week, or I'm going live once per week, and then I'm going to show up in my stories for the entire week, right? So you have to find different ways to show up in a way that, one, doesn't overwhelm you, and that you can also share some amount of quality content versus stressing out yourself about creating quantity or focusing on the quantity. Is a game changer for me. Listen, batch creating content is a game changer for me, because here's the thing, I don't have all the time in the world to be sitting and creating content. What I do, and I'm going to share with you some strategies here, exactly what I have been doing as an introvert and how other person have been doing it. Now that I'm doing this live stream behind the scenes, I have my camera, right? And all I am doing is getting behind the scenes content. I am getting behind the scenes content of me talking to you guys. So guess what? I might not be coming and sitting directly in front of the camera and talking to you, but what I'm doing is showing you behind the scenes of me working. So based on the type of work you're doing, you can show people, take people behind the scenes a day in the life of the type of job you do or the type of business you have or whatever. Take people behind the scenes. You don't necessarily have to be in the camera talking all the time. And that's what I mean about knowing what works for you. So batch creating content comes back to this. Every time I'm going live this week, or every time I'm going live, I have my camera propped up. I have my phone. right? I have these things in place to help me to create that content. And then I would go now, schedule a day and start editing the content or get someone to edit the content for me. And then I schedule them. These are some tactics and strategies that can help you to be more consistent online or on social media, to grow on social media without the overwhelm. And that's a big thing that I want you to just be very mindful of. All right. No, the other point I want to touch on for you guys is what are some ways you can really show up online that focus on something that is simple and impactful. Visual storytelling via silent reels. I touched on this just now. Silent reels. If you are on Instagram or if you know on all of these platforms, you'd often see persons sharing like photos, not photos, but a combination of photos and videos of them doing things. Just like I said earlier, I am recording this session using, showing the behind the scenes. And if I want to, when I'm finished, I just post a reel, silent reel, just with text on the screen, like, hey, this is the behind the scenes of me going live on YouTube. And you share like value. You can share value to your audience. So whether you're informing, entertaining, or educating, you want to be providing some amount of value, right? So you can do silent reels as a way for you to tell your story and to help you to thrive online. So it's visual storytelling through silent reels. Another thing is behind the scenes content. So the first one I mentioned, which is the visual storytelling and behind the scenes content, can work in combination. You do the behind the scenes content. This works really well for like persons who are hands-on, who are doing things with their hands, right? Another thing that I didn't add here, but tutorials. How did I get more confidence on being on social media or help me to thrive in a way? It's doing tutorials. I know a topic really well. I know a software really well. I know how to do something really well. Turn on my camera and I'm showing you exactly how you can do that. I am sharing the behind it. I am sharing the process. I am taking you from start to end in terms of how to do a particular thing. Another way is you can share your thoughts, and sharing your thoughts doesn't necessarily mean only on video, but you can write. So if you enjoy writing, if that's your strong point, choose platforms like LinkedIn to share your knowledge, choose platforms like Threads to share your knowledge as well. Another way that is good for writers, for persons who have a combination of very strong visual skills and creative skills, is carousel posts. So you do carousel posts on LinkedIn, you do your carousel posts on Instagram. Those are some really amazing ways and tactics you can apply that will make it simple but impactful for you when you're creating your content for social media. These are some proven ways. When I say proven, these are proven ways that a lot of introverts have been using social media to, one, position themselves online, to two, also position their business online. Think about one of your favorite content creators right now. Are they always like in the camera talking? Quite possibly no. Quite possibly it's a silent reels. If you are on YouTube, right? I often watch these videos by persons from, I think they're from Japan and Korea. It's silent. All they do, they have the camera moving around, right? They prop up the camera in different locations, right? And in the camera that they have set up the different locations, what they're doing is showing you that, hey, this is my life. This is what I am doing. And that is their content, no talking at all. So there are different ways in which you can apply strategies to help you to position yourself online and to position your business. All right. The other thing I want to just talk about here is engaging your audience through stories, right? Jump into stories. So maybe you're trying to get your feet wet, you're trying to get the hang of things. Engage your audience via stories. Just post on stories. And from stories, you can engage your audience. You do some polls, you do some interactive content, and then send them to your DM and talk to them, right? Maybe you don't want to be on camera. You can do that. I know oftentimes we like to say faceless content don't work. And to an extent, I do agree. But you have to start at a point where you're comfortable, but also stretches you. And also, if you're starting at a comfortable place, you have to also know you have to pivot and evolve at some point, right? So if you're engaging your audience through stories, you can show every day, or you can show up 3 times for the day, but ensure that your stories have a strategy. What's your purpose of sharing stories? Are you just going to share what you're eating and then that's it? No. Have a strategy behind your stories. You can even come up with a series. So recently, I decided to come up with this series via my stories called um, This Week Unwrapped. And so with This Week Unwrapped, all I am going to be doing is sharing with my audience via stories all the things I've been up to for the week. And I'm not going to share them everything. I'm sharing with them some highlights, some lowlights, and some lessons. So if you're on Instagram, you want to check out my you want to follow me first of all if you're not, and watch my stories, because it's a new series I've started. That's like, I really don't have the time to show up every day in stories, and I really want to engage my audience more and be talking to them more, but I don't have the time to be in stories every day. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create this series. I'm going to share with them what happened in the week, also check in with them, right? So you can have dedicated days when you connect with your audience via stories or whichever platform you so decide. All right. So let's talk about playing on your strengths. So like I said, you've identified your challenge, your current state, and where you want to be. So what are some things you can play on your strengths? I like to say repurposing content. I've jumped the gun a little bit. I'm talking about repurposing content. So let me just dive a little deeper part. You see, repurposing content, that is a game changer for saving yourself time. You create a reel on Instagram, you can repurpose that reel, post it on YouTube Shorts, right? If that's a platform you want. You can repurpose that video, put it on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn have videos now. You can post your videos. You can create one content, and as they would say, mine that one content into multiple ways. Like, no, I have a YouTube video, I'm talking to you guys. I am going to repurpose this content on all the platforms that I am most active on and where my audience is most active on, right? So play on those strengths, repurpose your content, and you can utilize Canva to help you. So you can go into Magic Write. I'm going to show you guys how to do that in just a few, how you can just repurpose your content, right? So repurpose your content using Canva so you can schedule it across platforms, right? And you create evergreen content that continues to provide value over time. So if you create your long form content, similar to how I'm going live now, and this video is going to run close to an hour, if not so much. When I'm finished with this video, I just chop it up. I can chop it up into YouTube Shorts. I can create reels from it. I can create carousels from it. I can write a blog post if I so desire. I can post it the same content in different ways on different platforms. So you want to be able to not only say, boy, when create the content, I'm going to be so stressed out. No, you think about creative ways how you can create that one content and repurpose that content across platforms, right? So I want you to start thinking about, boy, I really like the idea of silent reels or just sharing the behind the scenes of my work. All right. So once I do that, I'm going to just share some tips or just strategies on how they can achieve a particular thing. Maybe the other thing for you is not necessarily what would I say? It's not necessarily showing the behind the scenes, but you're really good at that thing. So you want to do tutorials. That's something you can do as well. Or maybe as a what? I'm just going to show up on stories, and you can also repurpose your stories. All right. So those are some really cool and fun ways in which you can play on your strengths so that you don't get overwhelmed. And lastly, leverage the tools you have. Leverage the tools. A lot of us invest in Canva. Why are you not using it to streamline your work process, right? Or your content creation process? Why are you not streamlining the way you do things to make your life easier? So yes, Canva might be known for graphics, but you can literally create your reels in Canva, right? You create a one reel, you can add some captions in Canva. And I'm going to show you how to do that just in a few. And then you have social media. You can create your social media content from Canva using third-party apps or using Canva scheduling tool, right? I have videos on my channel that can help you on this, right? And then there's templates. You can use the third-party apps to help you with captions and posts, right? So you don't have to worry about making a decision in the moment. These are some simple but effective ways in which you can leverage the tools to help you to thrive online as an introvert. Like I said, I understand social media can be overwhelming. There's so much things to consider. There's so many strategies. There's so many trends. There's so many platforms. But once you have come to the conclusion that, listen, man, I need to position my business online. I need to know how to position myself and make this social media thing work for me. So, like I said, from a recap standpoint, one, you need to identify where you are. Be very honest with yourself. Where are you now? So comment below and tell me, where are you now in your state in terms of showing up on social media? Is it that you're worried about being on camera? Be honest with yourself. If you're worried about being on camera and your goal and your desire is to be more confident on camera, identify a tactic you can use to start showing up more on camera. Maybe you're not going to go live on Instagram or YouTube. So instead, you'll record a video, probably like a short video, 30 seconds is fine, or even less, right? You post it on stories, right? So you can even show up, like I said earlier, create a series via stories, and you just start showing up in your stories, start talking to your people from an authentic place, relate to your audience, provide value, that kind of thing. So identify where you are. What are you struggling with? What is your challenge? Are you overwhelmed by the platforms? Choose 1 to 2 platforms you can start with, right? Maybe you don't want to start with 2, start with 1. Start with the platform where your audience is most active, right? So it's not what just is trending or what looks good or what everybody, following. It is where your audience really is showing up, and you start creating content for that platform. You don't want to be in camera talking, same thing. Go on your stories. Maybe you really like writing. Go on LinkedIn. Like, I've discovered that I'm in this era where I absolutely love writing. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll realize my captions have been very long of late. I was like, no, man, obviously there's a lot I want to share. So instead of just writing all of these long captions in on Instagram, I start writing more on LinkedIn. I created a newsletter. So what you'll find is that the more you start showing up and finding what works and seeing what you like and don't like, you can start leveraging those more. And of course, a big thing that I don't know how I missed this is check your analytics. You don't want to be showing up on social media, trying all of these things, doing all of these things, right? And you're doing all the wrong things. So check your analytics, identify what is working, and start doing that more, but also create room and allow space for you to test out the different ways in which you can show up online as an introvert. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, drop them in the box below. I'd love to hear what is something you're currently struggling with, or you to my channel. You can subscribe to my channel. I thank you for joining me live and just learning more about how you can thrive online as a social media, as an introvert on social media. All right. So before we wrap up, let's do this quick thing. I am going to go into Canva, right? And I am going to show you a tool or a feature, right, that you can utilize to help you with one, repurposing your content. All right. So first of all, I talked a lot about, identifying which platforms, that kind of thing, all the things, right? So I'm going to go to the section that says apps. So on the home page, you're going to go to the left-hand tab, you select apps, and I am going to scroll all the way down on the left-hand tab and select content planner, right? So like I said, you don't want to be overwhelmed by social media. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to a content planner. Planning is a big part of social media and a big part of your strategy. Listen, what we're not going to do in 2025 is just pop up and show up whenever we feel like. We need to have some strategy here, right? So even me showing up for 3 days, going live, it's part of my strategy, right? One is that I need to be more confident going live. I need to get better at doing of being live on YouTube and sharing my knowledge and engaging my audience. So this is a challenge for me as well, right? So you're going to put in your calendar, all right? Today's which day? Today's the 21st. You go in your calendar, it's a boy, the month almost finished. Here's what. Based on a particular theme or something that is coming up, I am going to create content for this particular day. You go on the content planner, you select that day. You can go and look for different templates, or you can create a brand new design, right? For me, say for instance, I am going to use this graphic. I've selected this graphic already. I've selected the date I want to publish it. I can choose which channel, which platform I want it to be published on, right? So I can go ahead and say, boy, I want to post it on Pinterest or Instagram. If you're not already connected to your social media account, you can go in and do that. I have a tutorial on that on my channel. All the links will be in my description, right? So I can go ahead and select which platform. No, the truth is you have to ensure that whichever design you have matches the correct aspect ratio for that platform, right? Very important. So I've selected the platform. I can go ahead and write my caption, and then I can schedule. So these are some tools that can help you with planning your content and scheduling your content from Canva. So if you're starting out with your videos or just static posts, use Canva. Also in the app section, so if you're going to use a third-party app, one of the ones I've been using is Metricool, right? One of the favorite apps I've been using lately to schedule my content. I can go ahead, use an existing design that I have, or I can create a new design. I go into the project section, I look for my folder, right? And let me find that graphic, right? Find that graphic, and I can export my content from here to Metricool, right? So these are some simple ways it's coming up for you guys to see, right? So I am doing all of these things to help me to be more consistent with content creation that doesn't make me feel overwhelmed, right? So these are just some simple ways. I have a video already created on this. I won't dive into this for you guys because I really have a video that can help you to streamline your content creation process, your social media process, that I covered in my session on how to use Canva to master your business like a pro in 2025 and beyond. So if that is something you want to learn, just check out my video here on YouTube. It went live. It's over an hour long. I've just recently published the 5 main takeaways from that video as well. I've shared some really awesome Canva apps and tools that you can utilize, right? So just to recap, how can you thrive on social media as an introvert? So number one, identify where you are. Be honest with yourself. I'm challenged with being on camera. I'm overwhelmed. So many tools, so many strategies. Fine. And you can say, all right, here's what. For this year, for this month, for this quarter, this is my goal. You set that goal. You identify the platform, the one platform or the two platforms. Again, look back on your schedule. What's your time management like? What's your schedule like? And start creating content. Are you going to create content that is a reel? You don't have to be in the camera talking. Are you going to create carousels? Are you going to be posting on LinkedIn? Are you going to be writing more? Are you going to be showing more graphics? What are you going to do? When you have made that decision, think about multiple ways you can repurpose that content for different platforms. Once you've done that and identified that, it's through the gate. Because one, not only are you creating content just to say you're posting quality content that is evergreen, that will always provide value to your audience. And then you find different ways to repurpose it. That's part of the strategy, repurposing your content to help you to thrive. And of course, leverage your tools like Canva to help you to schedule your content. If you enjoyed this video, please to give me a thumbs up to help this video to get some visibility and for it to be seen. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel to help with the growth of this channel, and so that other persons like you who want to learn more about how to better leverage Canva and how to better position themselves online as entrepreneurs and even as introverts, that would help me greatly, and I would greatly appreciate it. And like I said, I have an upcoming masterclass on February the 1st on how to use Canva to run your business like a pro, right? So in this session, I'll be doing a deep dive on how to utilize Canva to streamline your business. I'm talking about everything from how to create your content in social media to how to create your content in emails and how to even create a website. I'm doing this session for 3 hours, guys. Saturday, February 1st, 10 a.m. Jamaica time, and you can just click the link in my description to learn more. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being a part of this experience and for joining and spending some time with me in this video. If you have watched this video to the end, thank you, and see you tomorrow for my next video where I'm talking to you guys about time saving strategies using Canva. I'm going a little deeper tomorrow and showing you some approaches and tactics to how you can approach social media and content creation in a time saving way so you can eliminate the overwhelm and the burnout and, being all over the place pretty much. So I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow. Time saving strategies for you to use while using Canva. All right. So thank you guys for watching, and I can't wait to see you in tomorrow's video. So until then, bye.